Hello viewers, on today's video I'm gonna show you how to replace the transmission cooler line on this 2015 Chevy Impala with the 3.6 engine. Let's start by removing the engine cover. It is held by a T30 and the oil filler plug. We're gonna pop the cover off the engine, put it on the side, and now we're gonna remove those plastic retainer that hold that cover in place here. It's right on top of the bumper near the battery and the headlight. There's about 8 of them. You need to pop them off with a trim removal tool or a pocket screwdriver. We're gonna pop the ECM harness off the battery tray, and we're gonna take the ECM out of the bracket and put it on the side. Push the tab there and pull the ECM out. Now we're gonna remove the oil cooler lines. There are a C-clip that hold them in place. We need to remove that black tab, that black plastic protector off of it first, and use a 90-degree pick and pop the C-clip out. They're pretty small, and I'm gonna use my magnet here to retrieve it. They're pretty small. You can lose them easily. There it is. Now we're gonna wiggle the line while pulling it so you can come off on the radiator itself. There it is. And there is a bracket that hold it in place to the white thing in the bottom. There we're gonna do the bottom cooler line. That's what we will call the return line. And let's remove the bracket, the bottom line off the bracket first. And now we're gonna remove the black tab, the black plastic protector thing that's over it, and we're gonna use a 90-degree pick and to take the C-clip out. And we're gonna wiggle it out until it comes out. Make sure you have a container ready because fluid will be coming out. Now let's pop the bracket off because the new line comes with this new bracket. Now we're gonna remove the top of the line here. That's the 30mm. Take it off and wiggle the line of the transmission. Now there is another bracket that hold it on the side of the transmission, and that engine harness. Pop it off of the transmission cover using a trim tool like this. We're taking the transmission line off the bracket itself. We're going to separate them. It's loose. Now it's a game of patience until you remove the line completely out of the vehicle. And there it is, it's coming out. So there are so many things in the way. You have to be patient, the wiring harness, and this thing is attached into multiple places. There it is. Now we're gonna remove the transmission cable, shifter cable. It is a 15mm. Take the bolt off. Make sure you put the bolt back in because that bolt have a special thread in it. You cannot, it's really hard to find when you lose it. Ask me all I know because I had that happen to me before. You have to make sure you put it back so you don't lose it. Now we're gonna remove those two 30mm bolts that hold the transmission control bracket in place. The 30 millimeter. Good. Now we're gonna remove the battery cover. There is a two tab on each side, one tab of each side of the battery cover to pop it off. And we're gonna remove the ECM bracket. You can use the flat blade screwdriver to move the tab away from it and pull the ECM bracket out of the battery tray. There it is. This little tab here. Now we're gonna remove the other side of the cooler line. It is pretty much under the battery near the transmission mount. It is held by a 30 millimeter nut. I use a long extension, quarter-inch extension, and in a swivel to get it off. And I'm using my magnet here to retrieve the old nut. There it is. I would say you guys take a good picture of before you take everything off, because to remember the wilding of the lines. If I actually did video the whole thing, that video would be very long. But you really not that hard to figure out once you have it inside the vehicle, to be honest. There it is. Now we're gonna put the circlet back in the radiator. You have to put it in the right angle and push it in. Once you push it in, you're gonna hear a click noise. That means it's inserted. That retainer is what holds the line in place. Make sure you pay good attention and make sure it is fully seated. Because if you don't, you start the vehicle, it will spill the transmission fluid all over the place, and you potentially damage your transmission. So you have to pay good attention to little details like that. Now we're putting the new bracket to the transmission cover that hold the line in place. Now we're gonna put the line in. We're gonna put the longer one, the one that in the back of the transmission. Like you see here, I'm welding the new lines around the harness in the bracket, and I'm gonna put it in the radiator itself. Good. As you see here, I put it in the bracket first, but I would suggest that you put the line in the radiator first before you put it in the bracket. And we need to make sure you tight the nut on that hold the line in place in the transmission. Now we're gonna put the shorter line. It goes on top of the transmission assembly, and attach it and put it in the bracket. Secure it with the bracket. Same thing here, 30 millimeter. When the line is fully inserted to the vehicle and the radiator, you're gonna hear a click noise. That means once you go in, you hear the clicking noise. I will suggest you try to pull it back out. If it doesn't move, then that means it's fully inserted and secure. Now we're going to put our ECM bracket in, and our transmission control with shifter cable rather. It's pretty much the reverse of removal. And we're gonna make sure we top off the transmission fluid. In my case, I didn't lose that much fluid. I only added about a quart, a little bit less than a quart of fluid, maybe 1/8 of a quart if that's a thing. And because the level wasn't too low when I checked the dipstick. That transmission hold Dextron 6 GM fluid, so I just top it off and make sure I go to the gear and drive it and inspect it for leak, and that's pretty much it, guys. Make sure you don't overfill it. As you see here, it's the Dextron 6, just a little bit, not too much, and that's good enough. And that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.